factor on myself or somebody else if need be. One thing to note, it is a needle, it's a sharp, there is medicine. So if you do decide to do this, please take care. Now we've talked about the allergens and the biology behind it, and of course, anaphylaxis and being prepared. One thing people don't talk a lot about is the emotional side of the food allergies. Now, where to start on the emotional side? I have 3 different things I'd like to present today that I find incredibly helpful in my life. One is the 5 tissue rule, then the mindset shift, and 3 circles of influence. Now we'll start with the 5 tissue rule. One thing, I have felt sad, angry, anxious about a food allergy situation, and sometimes you have to honor those feelings and have a good cry. I like to take out 5 tissues and let it all out. Honor my feelings. After I use up the 5 tissues, it's time to take some deep breaths in and out. I usually do 5 because I'm doing the 5 tissue rule. And then afterwards, I feel like I've honored my feelings because they're real. And as a result of this practice, I feel calmer and more centered and a better state to tackle my food allergy issue at that time. Now, this works for food allergies, but I'll let you know it works for other areas in your life too. 5 tissue rule applies to all kinds of situations. Now, the next one I want to introduce is called the mindset shift. Now, food allergies come with real dire warnings and ways of viewing your world. You can get overwhelmed at times and you can be in a negative space. What you tend to focus your mind on, your body will also feel. And making a mindset shift can really put you in a better place in your life. An example for myself was going out for celebrations. I always wanted to go out for celebrations, and I had because I had adult onset food allergies. So going out all of a sudden now had limitations, disappointments, and sometimes just complete failures. I had to make a mindset shift and think, how can I reverse this? I made my home into a party central. You could do crafts, invitations, music. I could control the food and have a great time. And it just took that shift of understanding celebrations could be amazing at home, and that was the time to let loose. And going out, I understood had limitations. So it was just flipping it and reversing it. The acceptance for going out, letting loose at home, really gave me a calmer space to view my food allergy journey and made things more positive. Now, the third one I want to share with you is the 3 circles of influence. I love this visual. I actually visualize this in my head. The first, I like to start in the center. This is your inner circle. Think of this as your full safety zone. You have your full support. Hopefully everybody's educated in your home, and you have everything organized and accessible and safe. When you have that inner circle solid, you're able to move through the other circles much more easily. Now, the next one is the middle circle. Now, this typically is workplace and school. You don't have as much control over these environments. 2 things I like to employ in the middle circle are taking on leadership roles and going on committees. For example, in school, being a room parent, at work, being on a committee. Both of these allow you to have some say over events, educate people about food allergies, and also have some control, hopefully, over what's being served or how it's being served. You'll also be able to create a stronger social network within the middle circle. Moving out to the outer circle, this is the most unpredictable, eating out and traveling. Now, 2 things here are protocols and role play. I can't stress enough how great it is to be able to role play with kids. Giving them the chance to run dialogues, for example, about what if somebody offers them something that is unsafe. In a safe environment, they can practice their dialogue back and forth and really get a good understanding of what to say. Adults, role playing is great also if you have somebody to role play with, or even the mirror, because saying something out loud sounds a lot different than what it goes like inside your head. So I like to employ the role playing. The next thing is protocols. When you're in that outer circle, let's say you're going out with some friends, going out to dinner, maybe you want to talk about if you're going to bring some food in case the food's unsafe or you can't eat anything, or maybe you've eaten before and you're okay not to eat, or if the environment's unsafe, will you need to leave? Having these discussions beforehand, if X happens, then Y, allows everybody to have a little bit more predictability and understanding. And that way, when in an uncontrolled environment, you have more control and predictability. And it also sets up expectations with the people that you're with. So those are the three circles of influence and the different protocols that I use for each one. And as I said, I love having this visual in my head. Now, the next thing are a few tools to assist you in your food allergy journey. Most importantly, medications. People with food allergies can have coexisting conditions, and it's important to make sure you have all your medication with you that you'll need at all times. Having EpiPens, the auto-injectors, I recommend having two. And I want to stress having medical bracelets is extremely helpful. I consider it an extra layer of safety. So for children and for adults, protocols, making sure you have emergency plans in place and pre-event strategies. For example, we just talked about the protocols. If X, then Y. Training, stay current on your food allergies. Read up on them, understand if there's things that are changing or alerts that are out there. Always, I'm going to stress this over and over again because it is a life-saving measure. Make sure you know how to use your EpiPen. Organization and labeling, having systems in your house, in your car, at school, clear labels, make it easy to identify so everybody understands there's no guessing, there's no worrying. And lastly, something that I think really needs to be stressed a little bit more is having emotional support, having resources and people to turn to when things can get overwhelming. So those are some of the emotional pieces and physical pieces, and we talked about the biological pieces. The next thing I just want to wrap it up and summarize it. Food allergies touch almost all areas of our life. Food is involved in our everyday lives and in our celebrations. These are just some of the ways that I found to make it simpler and bring a little bit more joy in your life if you employ these. Continual education, getting resources, working with your community does make your life journey easier with food allergies. Now, in that light, as it says here, we at Food Allergy Wizards want to work with you on that journey. I've spent over 20 years researching food allergies, from recipes and labeling, the organization, being on boards, and I know how difficult it can be. I understand also that on every single person's journey, it's unique and individual. It's always evolving and ever changing. With so many different types of food allergies and coexisting conditions, we want to be able to assist you. I think it's important to meet you where you are and guide you along the way for the personalized solutions. And I want to make a real difference in people's lives. Now, in order to do that, one of the things that I'm excited to offer for today is that we're going to have special packages available and unbelievable pricing. And I'm excited to show them to you. We have three different ones that I just want to go into a little bit so you understand them. The first one is called The Wand. It's a 1-hour phone call and a custom guide to meet and identify your top needs or needs. This is a great way to dive into an issue that you may have that's really forefront on your mind. The Cauldron has 4 30-minute calls and 4 personalized plans. This allows a continuation of support and being able to really move along in your food allergy journey. The Crystal Ball, now this one has 4 60-minute calls, unlimited email access for a month, and customized plans and recipes. This really allows us to go into a deep dive and have continual support. Now, if you want to take advantage of one of these 3 packages, it's really easy. You just go to www.foodallergywizards.com/seminar offer /, and you'll see it there on the slide. And you can select whichever offer you would like to take advantage of. Now, next online is for everybody. The free bonus is a Valentine's Day celebration of recipes. These recipes are top 9 free. They're fun and delicious. They're heart-shaped hamburgers with special seasonings, heart-shaped hash browns, and a doubly decadent chocolate cake with classic chocolate frosting. I'm a self-confessed chocoholic, and believe me when I tell you,